Alright, so today's question is a two-parter. We have where do Anglican hymns come from, and is there a hymnal? So to tackle the first part of that question first, where do Anglican hymns come from? Page 8 of our catechism, to be a Christian, is a good introduction to this topic. For context, page 8 is part of a section talking about resources important for the explication and elucidation of scriptural doctrine, which is to say, analyzing and explaining doctrine. Hymns will be one of those resources because any good hymn is truthful and profitable for us to sing because it's based on the truth established in Scripture. So it says, hymns from writers like Isaac Watts, Charles Wesley, John Mason Neale, and Graham Kendrick have formed the spirituality of English-speaking Anglicans around the world. So not all of the hymn writers mentioned here are actually Anglicans. Isaac Watts is considered the odd one out here. He was a nonconformist or dissenter, so he was Protestant, but he broke away from the Church of England and thus broke away from Anglicanism during his lifetime. But his hymns have still been adopted into Anglican hymnody over the years because they faithfully and artistically express scriptural doctrine as a song. So you probably have heard some of his hymns before, like When I So Wear the Wondrous Cross is one of his most famous ones. But there are a number of Anglicans that have shaped our musical heritage in ways that you may not have realized. So Charles Wesley, who was an Anglican priest, and he wrote hymns like And Can It Be and Christ the Lord is Risen Today. And the last one you probably have heard if you've been to a traditional Easter service, the Alleluias in it are unmistakable. And there are also some famous hymns that you may not know were written by Anglicans. So Amazing Grace, one of the most famous hymns of all time, was written by John Newton, who's an Anglican priest. And another famous hymn, Just As I Am, was written by Charlotte Elliott, and she was also an Anglican. And so, we not only have Anglican hymn writers, but we also have Anglican composers who contributed to many well-loved hymns, because hymns have two parts, so they have like the written lyrics, and they also have the tune to go along with it. And some hymns can have multiple tunes, but some hymns are so associated with tunes that you can't really separate them. But, Joseph Barnby, he was an Anglican, and he wrote many hymn tunes like O Perfect Love, which is used as a tune for O Perfect Love, All Human Thought Transcending, which is a popular wedding hymn. So is there a hymnal? Moving on to the second part of the question. There's not just one hymnal. So Anglicanism overall has a rich history of hymnals from the Church of England. One of the most notable ones is Hymns Ancient and Modern, which was published in 1861, which has been used as the basis for a lot of modern Anglican hymnals. But if we're talking about more recent and local history, I will say there is no official ACNA hymnal, or there's no official hymnal in the Anglican Church in North America yet. But there is one currently in development. They created a musical resources task force, and they're hoping to create a finished hymnal for presentation at the 2029 Provincial Assembly in hopes of getting it approved and using that as the basis for an official ACNA hymnal. So, if you're not familiar with the Provincial Assembly, they gather representatives from all over the ACNA, and they meet every 5 years. So the last one was in 2024, so 2029 will be the next one. But in the meantime, there have been two primary hymnals commended for use in the ACNA. So again, these are not official ACNA hymnals, but they have been commended for use within the ACNA. So individuals and churches can feel free to use them because they've been recommended. So we have Magnify the Lord, which was published in 2019 by Anglican Liturgy Press. This comes from the Reformed Episcopal Church, which is a founding member of the ACNA. So if you're looking for where to find this hymnal, you can find it at AnglicanHousePublishers.org. And the second one, because I'm going in publication order here, is Sing Unto the Lord, which is published in 2023 by Anglican Music Publishing, which is actually a partnership of two ACNA churches, Christ Church Anglican in Savannah and St. Peter's Anglican Cathedral in Tallahassee. You may have actually heard of this hymnal. It's got more recent press because in June 2025, the ACNA College of Bishops met and they officially commended this hymnal for use within the ACNA. So it's gotten a lot more press recently. And if you're looking for this hymnal, you can find it at its own website, singintothelord.org. So I hope this helped. Thank you so much for watching and have a blessed day.